Uh, what size drill bit do we need? Yo, Brian. Well, Amy and the kids are going to the beach, so your boy doesn't have to be uh, anywhere. So here I am. BBC, what are you making for dinner? What do you on a Friday night? What is young BBC whip up for dinner? Hey, Grizzly. Good way to go, YouTube. I must be in their good graces. I must not be saying any buzzwords that make them mad. Steak and eggs. Thought that was a breakfast thing. Breakfast for dinner. I hear you. Nasty Nate. What's new? How's the married life? Oh, yes, it did rain inside. Not today, but yesterday. We had a freak monsoon, and I wasn't back there. Actually, I was in here dicking around with these guys. I was dicking around with them, and no, Morgan. I wish it was raining fire paint jobs. It was literally raining. Uh, so I was dicking around with those things, and I, I walked up to see Honey Boo Boo in the front, and the rain sounded extra loud as I was approaching, like louder than just on the roof. And it was louder because it was dropping on the floor. So I said, oh shit. So I looked in the room next to the front door, like pouring. It was like somebody was on the roof with a 5 gallon bucket, like dumping them one after the other. It was like running down the walls. Ceiling tiles were falling out. Let's go see which other rooms are flooding. So I walked down to the end of the hall. There's another office flooded. One beside it, flooding down the wall. Son of a bitch. Nothing you can do. Put down buckets, but I would have had to have had 100 buckets. So just had to wait for it to stop. And then I got the shop vac out. And it rained so much that one of the offices, it filled up the floor and almost made it into the hallway. So it's like if my whole office floor here got filled up with water and enough to make it to the hallway. It was a pretty good place. Pretty good, pretty fair amount of water. Um, so spent yesterday evening rather than painting, I spent it vacuuming and sweeping and squeegeeing water and setting up fans to blow on everything so everything would dry out hopefully. Um, yeah, it was pretty shitty. Congrats to my main man, Mark Burgess, on the big W at Champlain. I've been friends with Mark and his family my whole life. How about that, Bobby? That's awesome. At least it's really humid. Yeah, it actually, when it rained inside, the humidity didn't change at all. It was exactly the same. Yeah, it was. Well, the two end offices have tile, so they were pretty easy. The front one has carpet. Not good, but it smelled a little funky this morning. So hopefully we get it dry. I've got 3 fans in there blowing on it. But uh, yeah, So today was all about getting the drain cleaned out. So apparently somebody had supposedly cleaned that drain before. Apparently they didn't. It filled back up. Dehumidifier. Good thinking. I think we have some of those. Multiple. Maybe I'll put one of those in there. Um, yeah, so, and then on top of that, today, I went in there and turned my fan on to paint. It started making some god awful noise. So I had to get up on top of the paint room and take the fan apart and kind of figure out what was going on with it. I couldn't really find anything, but I cleaned it out and it seems to be running better now. But it was about 115 up there in that rat hole. And yeah, so it's been one of those weeks. But I finished. I finished the BDS one. I did two different things on one bait, so there's going to be options. Not You're not going to have to think too hard, but there will be an option. I wanted to try the crack scales, not the actual ones. The pattern, the crack pattern. With paint. I like the broken upness, honestly. Like I'm not going to do it on everything, but I wanted to try it and see how it looked. It's pretty cool. Um, but then the other one I just did standard, you know, regular scales, fishy scales. Um, Standard classic balsa scales. So when those go up, there will be a choice. There will be choices. Um, but I didn't get too crazy with that one. I just want it to be. I wanted something fish catchy, rivery. Morgan Mason might have swayed me, but I changed it up a little bit. Will we see the 100-pound mark on the northern swing of the elites? Probably if they have nice weather. Not today. I feel like Travis, I've given you lots of opportunities to say meh. Thank you though. It's a nice thing to say on a shitty week. I'm glad this week wasn't the meh week. It would have probably hurt a little more. Zombie skunk. Well, I won't tell you what I was gonna do because I still might. I still might do it. But I couldn't decide black or white. I sat there and I was like, well, maybe I'll do a mistake. Maybe I'll do black and white mistake. And then I was like, oh, what's that? I was like, I've never done a whatever they call them. Like they make a spook in the it's like blue with like silver kind of bones down the side. I don't know what they call them, but you see it a lot on old baits. Um, and I've never done anything like that. And I was like, that'll be good for a wake, something like that. It's kind of old school, but make it new. Do my twist on it. So then Started thinking skeleton bones things, and I said, "Oh, that reminds me of Garfield the cat when he would go like digging trash cans, and all the little dead fish would always have X's for eyes." So that's what I went with. I did lots of different things. I tried all kinds of different ways to do it. I did X's. This bait will be stripped, uh, but I tried painting the eyes, like drawing the X's. I like that, but it didn't quite match the side. So um, Johnny, no, it's not a gradient. It's got pearl mixed into the white, and you can't really see it. What you're seeing, the yellow, you're seeing the wood underneath. So I tried to expose. I was going to do full wood exposure like that, but changed my mind. I wanted something. I wanted it. I didn't want it. I just didn't want to do that. I wanted white and I wanted some pearl in there. So it has some pearl iridescence nectar inside the with the white. But then it's sprayed over wood. So you're probably getting a little bit of the whites toned down a little bit from the wood. Um, so are you singing Heathcliff's thing song in your head while painting those skeletons? No, I didn't. The only I have memories of Garfield. I couldn't tell you a song. Uh, the real memories of Garfield I have are the Christmas special and the Halloween where they go to the island with the old man. Uh, that was maybe it was Heathcliff. Maybe I'm not talking about Garfield. I can't remember. I can't remember. I just remember watching shows as a kid, and I always had the little X dies. Heathcliff. I hadn't heard that name in forever. But I'm at a dot eyes. That's what I'm here for. I have a purpose. What color? Hmm. Hmm. Maybe silver? Silver? Eyes might look good. Yes, silver it is. Sorry for you yellow eye lovers. It's going to be silver. Heathcliff, that's what it was. I kept saying Garfield. I thought it was Garfield, but it was Heathcliff. Because I don't know that Garfield ever went into the streets. Too lazy. He just stayed in his house with John and Odie. Sterling, yes, Bobby. These will have sterling silver eyeballs. Frank the Tank. Later, BBC. Enjoy your steak and eggs, you old geezer. Tried to show Clay when the bean was young, like before she really had like a choice of what. Like now she's 4. She now that she's 4, she only ate or she only she picks shows. But when she was like 2, she'd watch anything. Like she was just excited to be watching TV. So in the morning, she'd lay with me, and we'd go like watch TV in the living room on the couch. And I got to pick, so I would pick. I'd go to YouTube, and I would watch because she wanted to watch cartoons. So I picked the old G.I. Joes because that was my favorite cartoon. I was like, well, that's what I love. So we'll see. We'll try her. We'll see if she likes G.I. Joe. And she would sit there mesmerized and watch it. These are sexy. Not gonna lie, these are sexy. There's some things done to these that you have to see in person, but um, yeah, I bet Heathcliff is on the tube. There's a bunch of old cartoons. Um, GI Joe's definitely on there. I think you can find He Man, Thundercats, like any of that stuff from my childhood. Still hiding on the tube. My girls are watching the old Bugs Bunny, Jetsons, and Flintstones. Travis, I was able to get the bean off of watching You Know Who, that guy. I was able to wean her off him and get her on Tom and Jerry. But I don't know if any of y'all have gone back and watched Tom and Jerry lately, but it's pretty edgy for a children's show, I must say. There's some Tom and Jerry's got some edge to it. Like there's been points in watching Tom and Jerry where I was like, is this good? Is this okay? Flintstones, we hadn't made it to the Flintstones yet. DuckTales, that was a good one. My youngest daughter loved Married with Children. Al Bundy, what a legend. Al Bundy. Where am I? Mighty Max? What is Mighty Max? I don't remember Mighty Max. Bugs Bunny, Jetsons. I got to add these to the list. Oh, Bobby, for whatever reason, when I read your comment, I interpreted it like I could see the whole comment, but I hadn't read it yet. And I just saw theater. I saw kids, theater, saw in capital letters. And I was like, did this dude take his kids to see Saw? Like, is that? Uh, I caught kids, theaters, and Saw 2. So, hmm, nice one. Oh, what was that other one we need to watch? Care Bears. That was a pretty good show. I wish it was Saw 2. That's funny. That is funny. I smell a Halloween themed debate this year, Bobby. I smell a Halloween theme. Yeah, I'm not a horror movie fan. Yo, JP, what are you doing? On the air, regular TV. There's channels that play the old Looney Tunes. Yeah, we've got because we don't have cable. We just have internet TV stuff. I was gonna sneeze. Oh, it won't go away, but it's like lingering in my nose. This is annoying. Excuse me. Um, yeah, we have to get up into the. You have to explore up into the 40s channels. Maybe even the 50s. That's like no man's land. Ew, that's a lot of paint. Let's do a little dabble off. Let's take a little bit of that off. Happy little trees. Uh, Scooby Doo, that is a good one. Forgot about Scooby Doo. Johnny, you were raised similar to Amy because her dad would rock her and be watching Poltergeist or The Exorcist or Jason or Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever. We weren't a my family wasn't scary movie people. We didn't watch scary movies or horror movie as the genre is called. Uh, I always just called them scary movies. And then Scary Movie actually came out and ended up being one of my favorite movies. 30 minutes from Owensboro? I don't know where that is. Oh, I'm gonna have to do a redo on those. That was horrific. That was horrific. What's what should I eat for dinner tonight? Candyman scared me big time. Stop watching scary stuff forever. I don't know that I've ever seen like a horror movie all the way through. I had a vivid enough imagination as a child. Uh, I didn't need scary movies to scare me. I could take care of that myself. Um, Brian, yes, this is the one that on the back said, "Get the damn net." This was a "Get the damn net" shirt without "Get the damn net" on it. It had three fuzzy channels. JP, the fuzzy channels were the best ones. They were up in the 100s. I need to save that story for a. That's that story I think I've told, but it needs to be shared in that camper stream. I think we've all watched the Fuzzies as kids. Morgan, you need dinner inspiration too? To make or to stop and get? Part of me, because it was a shitty week, wants to go to like the grocery store and get a gallon of ice cream and then go to Popeyes and order like a family meal and sit there and eat all of it. Hold on. I'm getting mixed up. My mom worked in a movie rental place, got all the new releases before they hit the shelf. That's pretty badass, Clay. That's pretty badass. I remember like when I was really feeling brave, when I lived when I was a kid, we had a video store up the street. It was called All Star Video. I would go in there, and when I was feeling brave, I would walk to like the R-rated section, like the horror movies and the titty movies, and like peek, and then you'd see like Pinhead, and you're like, ooh, you'd run back over to like the damn Nintendo games. Like I saw him, and then it would be etched in your brain for the next 6 months. Old Pinhead. Fight scripts to change the channels. Mike, I'm dotting some I's. I'm trying to finish up before I go home and let these I's sit. So I can come in tomorrow, paint a few baits, clear coat some baits. And clean up, because I got to clean up all the water mess. Like all the shit's out of the offices in the hallway, so I got to pick all that stuff up too. SNE, Super NES games. What was your Super NES game that you would hog from Blockbuster? '64 would have been. It had to have been like Street Fighter. What would have been? I'm trying to think. Games that I would have over rented on Super Nintendo. The only one I can think of that I played so much was Street Fighter. Final Fight? I don't know what that is. Might be blasphemy, but that one's not on my radar. Oh man, these are coming together. The best was a smaller TV on top of the bigger TV that didn't work. At our hunting camp growing up, we had a TV that only picked up. It was battery operated, and it was probably like a 6-inch display, dude. This TV was microscopic, and we didn't have power at the hunting camp. The power was run off of a truck battery. So, and it was just a trailer with like a room built onto it. So imagine a trailer way off in the woods in central Alabama that was run off of a car battery, and no TV or entertainment, but we had a TV that was like this big. It was black and white, and it had a big antenna that stuck off of it. And we would like sit there, and like when all like my dad and his buddies were like cooking and drinking beer and stuff, they'd turn the TV on, and we'd watch TGIF on like channel 3, and we'd be like mesmerized, and then they could go do whatever they wanted to. But many fond memories watching TGIF on at the hunting camp on a 6-inch screen, black and white. All right. That was quick. That was easy. The other ones have X's for eyes. I don't have to do those. Now, dinner time. I like games that had helicopters and airplanes. Oh, dude, those like flight simulation games. Please do not tell me that you could ever like get off the ground in one of those and like make it a fun game. TGIF was legit. GoldenEye, Killer Instinct, Wave Racer, Mortal Kombat, Madden. Did Cruising USA come out on a console? Because I remember we used to play that at the grocery store. ABC, NBC, CBS. That was pretty much it. We only got ABC and maybe NBC. I don't think we had CBS. We might have had CBS. Pong. And JP's not talking about bleep, bleep. He's talking about actual ping pong. And he only had one paddle, and he'd have to sit up against the wall and play ping pong with himself. That's why he's such a good airbrusher. Oh, Tony Hawk was cracked. Grizzly, were you one of those dudes? I had a buddy that had maps memorized, and he got us to play with him, and we'd play Golden Guns only. And he had the map like where you respawned. He had it memorized, and he would just run around and blast you right when you respawned, and then he would run to the next respawn point, and you'd respawn, and he'd blast you. It was pretty obnoxious. It was incredible to watch, but it was also not very fun. Did anybody ever have a LAN party where you took your computer over to somebody's house and hooked it up? I like the racing games. Those were fun. Super Nintendo was when all the good fishing games came out. Don't get Clay started on fishing games. Lost a lot of bass tournaments. We had Halo Get Down was my favorite high school memory for 6 foot dogs and Halo parties. Sounds like a fun party. I hear Honey Boo Boo in there whining. I got to go get her. We had LAN parties in residence when I was in my first year at university. That's pretty us. Most people don't know what that is, probably. Like it's a very small era that would have been having those. Like if you're older or younger than that little like 10-year span, you wouldn't know what it is. Black Bass on regular Nintendo. I never had Black Bass. I'm gonna have to look that up. I was big into Command and Conquer on PC. Red Alert. Holy crap, was I addicted to that game. Been 2 weeks since you fished. Hella, but you fished a really big event. So it's not like you were dicking around with like crumbs like me and AJ. You were actually fishing something big. Takes a lot out of you. You gotta rest and relax and get your energy back to go again. Remember those handheld fishing reels that vibrated? Oh, Bobby, those things were pieces of shit, but I would play it for hours, and it had the little like overlays, and you would cast it and reel, and then it'd vibrate, and you'd like, yeah, those things were kind of fun. They must have sold 1,000,000 of those things because we all had them. They were trash, but they were pretty. They took you for a little while. No pun intended. No pun intended. Well, 6 o'clock. Bought jigs from AJ today. Mindy Magic. Handheld poker games. You know which one that the Bean bought? She went to the aquarium with her grandmother, and she got to pick out like something in the gift shop. The Bebe, she's 2. Her gift picking abilities have not developed quite to par yet. They're still subpar. So she picked a manatee slap bracelet. So it's a slap bracelet with a giant stuffed manatee on it. Wouldn't have been my choice. But the Bean came in with a solid, and she bought this little like Game Boy looking thing, except it's got water in it. And you push the buttons and it shoots the rings up, and you have to get them on the spikes. I've probably played that a little too much. It's super fun. And we used to have the tall one that had the big buttons on the bottom where it shoots air up and launches the little floating rings. JP was so poor he had to play with himself. I was waiting on it. Oh. Oh man. Sounds like it's time for a JP reloaded tackle camp. You and a stick. Oh, John. Turn the vacuum off. Your room's clean. JP had the cleanest room in the South. Duck Hunter gun. Yeah, Duck Hunter was fun. They say there's a glitch where you can hold the gun in the corner. I'm probably going to go on the naughty list now from YouTube for saying the G word. But you can hold it in like the corner of the TV, and it would like do something weird, and you didn't even have to aim. You could just pull, and it would blast the ducks. I don't know if it was true or not, but I heard a rumor of that. How about when Mario 3 came out, or how about what was the show or the movie The Wiz? The Wiz Kid, the Wizard. That was about the kid, the like Rain Man kid that played Mario, and it showed you that you could duck down on the white block in like the first level, and then get the flute, and then the game came out, and everybody already knew the cheat. Well, shit, we talk about the Nintendo gun talk going to put you in timeout. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. The Wizard. Yeah, that was a great movie. Great movie. Nobody's home tonight. Maybe I can watch The Wizard. I was probably going to watch The Great Outdoors. That did work. Grizzly can confirm that there was a glitch in Duck Hunt. How about that? Dad with the donuts. I don't remember that part. The only part I remember is the competition where the kid like does the little hacks in Super Mario 3. It's pretty wild. All right, JP, I'm in here too. Clay, I don't know where The Great Outdoors is streaming. I have it on DVD, but I don't have a DVD player. But I have a DVD. Um, I traveled somewhere recently. It might have been when we went to Kansas last year, and I brought, because we don't have TV out there. We have a DVD player, and we'll just watch DVDs for entertainment. And I brought a bunch of DVDs to watch while we sat at the house at night. And JP, I can accommodate that. Um, maybe next week. But where was I going? Oh, so I went out to Kansas and I had the DVDs, and The Great Outdoors is one of my top three favorite movies of all time. So it was the first night. We'd unloaded. Everybody was tired from driving. And I said, all right, I'm going to sit on this couch and I'm going to drink a beer and I'm going to watch The Great Outdoors. And I'm going to sit here and laugh my ass off. Well, I get the case and I open it up and I put the DVD in, and the intros, like the ads before the movie start. I'm like, this is not right. This is something wrong. So I pulled out the DVD, and it was that Jamie Kennedy movie, America's, what is it? Beverly Hill, what is something's most wanted. Malibu's most wanted. Yeah, that had been exchanged. Somebody, I don't know if it was my wife or children, had taken out the Great Outdoors DVD and put Malibu's Most Wanted in there. Uh, if y'all could have felt the rage that encapsulated me at that exact moment, it was bad. Uh, Clay, um, my cousin got married last year, and she got married in California. And Amy was like, I want to go to this wedding. And I was like, I'm not going to California for a wedding. That's absurd. And she was like, it's on Bass Lake. And I was like, Bass Lake as in the lake The Great Outdoors was filmed? And she was like, yes. She's like, they're getting married at like the place where it was filmed, like that lodge. And I was like, she's like, where the like piers and stuff are? I was like, no shit. And she's like, yeah. It's like, let's go. So um yeah, the Great Outdoors, the all the lodges and like that is on Bass Lake in California. I forget the town, but dude, it's like going back in time. It's awesome. Bears walking around. We got an Airbnb, dude. It was sweet. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was super fun. Um, Dumbest movie ever. Oh man! Before we go down the movie, I need to get out of here so we don't. I'll be here. I'll be here till midnight talking about the worst movie of all time. As a child growing up, my parents thought it was Pee Wee's Big Adventure, but simultaneously, I thought it was the greatest movie of all time. I still am entertained, and I still quote Pee Wee's Big Adventure, but my parents thought it was awful. It's the equivalent to Blippi, I guess, now, except Pee Wee Herman's actually funny. Blippi probably not so funny. Put it on Bass Lake. You got it, Kyle. I would recommend anybody that's a fan of bass, lakes, and the great outdoors, go visit that place. And I'll send you the link to our Airbnb, and it was awesome. It wasn't on the water, but it was like 100 yards from the water. I saw some bass. Didn't have a pole though. My dad just sighs, Pee Wee. Me and my bro couldn't get enough. Same, Bobby. Same. I think it was the 96er. The old 96er. Clay, unfortunately, the restaurant and the bar that were in the movie burned down the year after the movie was filmed.
Lightning has been detected in your area.
So it's not original, but if you go to the lodge, like the place, it's not a lodge, it's like a resort. If you go to the resort bar, which is the same location in the same building, they just rebuilt it the next year. There's a bunch of stuff from the movie, like pictures, and that big totem pole is inside the bar, and like it's cool, dude. It's fun. Um, but yeah, the old 96er. He ain't done yet. What do you mean? All right, throwing some t-shirts for the kids. Nothing left but gristle and fat. All right, y'all have a good rest of your Friday evening. Good talking to everybody. We'll talk soon. Everybody, force your family tonight to watch a good old 80s movie. Or early 90s, mid 90s, 80s to 90s movie. Have a throwback night. Have a retro night. You'll have a good one. Let me know what you watch. See ya. Go fishing. I'll watch Grumpy Old Men instead. All right. See you, dudes.